Wow, stories.
Am I the idiot because I told my daughter to help around the house or move out? My husband and I live together with our 4 kids. Our eldest is 19F, and then we have a son, 14, and 4-year-old twins. Daughter chooses to not go to college and instead has a job. She works as a receptionist. Husband is a lawyer and is working most of the time, even after he gets back home. However, he helps with whatever he can. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm in charge of most of the household chores. My daughter does nothing around the house. She works from 5 every weekday. She gets home, has a shower, and leaves again to hang out with friends. She wakes up late during weekends and just expects me to do everything, even cook her breakfast, and sometimes even take it to her room. I do her laundry, cook for her, clean her room, etc. I do everything for her. I'm honestly tired of her attitude. I told her that either she will need to start helping around, doing laundry some days, cleaning, watching over her siblings or something else, or she'll have to move out. She called me out on my sexist behavior because I didn't ask this from her brother. My son is in the football team. He needs to practice and has good grades. There's not a reason to ask more of him. I told her that and she called me an idiot. I told her if she wants to play to still be a teenager, then she's grounded now. She can only leave the house to go to work, and she can't hang out with friends. My husband supports my decision. So far, she's been obedient and doesn't hang out with friends anymore, but she also doesn't talk to her dad or me. My parents-in-law have tried to tell us we should let her be an independent adult, but we have told them they can't tell us how to parent our kids, which has led to an argument with them as well. Am I being an idiot here? ETA. She's not paying rent or contributing with money at all. Everyone sucks here. You are right that she does need to help around the house. She is also right that your son also has to help around the house. Just because he has school doesn't mean he doesn't need to learn how to perform basic chores. He is 14, note 4, more than old enough for most of the housework. Everyone sucks here. You could first try not doing her laundry or taking her breakfast in bed before you jump to grounding her. Stop doing everything for her. Children learn what they're taught. Start teaching your son before he ends up as entitled as his sister. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my boyfriend that the hilarious videos he sends me are fake? My boyfriend sent me a video that he found hilarious. It was the one where people are on a Zoom call, and one guy thinks he turned his camera off and goes to get lotion and tissues while his colleagues all shout at him in horror. I knew halfway through the video that it was fake. I told him that has to be scripted. He replied, "I really hope it isn't." I was curious, so I went on the web and found out it was actually an ad for an adult website. I sent the link to him. He got really upset that I felt the need to prove him wrong. He said everyone else he shared the video with just laughed and moved on. He eventually got over it and we made up. Recently, he sent me another video where a boy shoots a Nerf gun at his mother painting and she falls onto the couch and spills paint everywhere. I'm not certain, but I also believe this video to be set up as well. Everything in me is telling myself not to tell him it's fake, but the urge is strong. One of my major annoyances with social media is so many staged videos and content, which is fine if everyone is aware that they're fake. But the problem is a lot of people believe these are real. It's fine for funny content, but where it does matter is for political or scientific content. Am I the idiot for telling him it's fake and ruining it? Should I just keep my mouth shut and pretend to laugh? Edit. I can definitely see why me trying to prove him wrong makes me the AH. In my mind, I was genuinely curious and wanted to find out. Sort of like when you see an actor on a show and you're convinced it's X, and someone else is convinced it's Y, and you look it up out of curiosity. I can see why that would be annoying, though, if someone is proved wrong. Also, yes, I know that movies and shows are fake, but if someone else tried to tell me, I hope they're not fake. That would be concerning. I can see where I'm wrong about the political or scientific content, since what he sent me was neither. I think the real issue is that I don't find the clips funny whether they are real or scripted. We have different senses of humor sometimes, and that's okay. I need to find a way to validate his need for connection when he sends the videos without lying, for example, fake laughing. Some people have suggested some good ideas, not the idiot. People seem to be missing the fact that OP isn't going out of their way to rain on BF's parade. BF is sending OP these videos. OP, you can tell your BF you don't find the videos entertaining. If he continues to send them, you'll be every bit justified in voicing your disinterest. For people who still don't get it, don't send people poop if you don't want to hear their opinion, not the idiot. My ex-husband insisted, this was largely before social media, that the pictures in Playboy, etc. were not airbrushed or altered in any way. And they never lied about their weight. Sure, you are 5'8" inches with enormous boobs and weight 95. I, of course, had to seek out every bit of documentation I could find to prove him wrong. I should have paid heed to the giant red flags waving everywhere. Now, for the next story. Am I the idiot for telling my wife she was being childish and unreasonable for trying to make me choose between her or my mother? My wife and I have been together for 10 years and married for 3. My wife Jane Doe is 29 and myself is 28. Generally speaking, during our years together, we have never really gotten into fights or been at each other's. Sadly, that has changed over the last year, ever since my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I made the choice to care for her using my own funds, since my mother has no assets. Recently, we got into a fight because as of late things have gotten tighter financially. We are not struggling, but our lifestyle has become rather limited compared to what it was prior to me taking care of my mother financially. I have also been less available because I took on a different role at the job, higher pay, but more responsibilities and longer hours. She has been trying to get me to place my mother in a Medicaid-funded nursing facility, and she knows how I feel about that. We both work in the medical field, and we both know exactly what will happen to a case like my mother who is fully ambulatory but requires hand-over-hand care, but can be combative with strangers because she is oriented to the person rather than the place. I told her even if we went with her idea, does she really think that will make things better? I will still go visit her often just to make sure they are doing right by her, and a private memory care facility would be 2 to 3 times as much as what I am currently paying for her home care. Then she asked, what about us though? We are young. We should be living and enjoying our lives, creating memories and experiences, which I agree with, and I told her we can still do that, just not at the frequency that we once did. Then she started to tell me everything I already knew, and at this point I started to lose my cool. I know it is progressive. I know at one point if she lives long enough she will need skilled nursing care. I know spending nearly 6-8K a month of her expenses is not financially sane. She is my mother, though. Everything I have is because of her. She made countless sacrifices to raise me by herself, and it was not easy raising a kid, let alone one on the spectrum working multiple jobs by yourself. My wife knows this, and knows how much my mom means to me. She tried to play if your mother was of sound mind. She would want you to enjoy and live your life and be happy. I snapped at this point, sure, you may be right if we were really struggling. We are giving up extra vacations and freedom. This is where she replied that you have to choose me or your mother. I cannot live this way anymore. At this point, I told her she was being childish and unreasonable, and if she a divorce, so be it. But don't try to play the victim or act as if she is being reasonable. Had it been her family, I would understand and do everything I can to support her through it. That is what partners do. They support one another, help lift them up when they fall, not kick them while they are down. You're the idiot. Not for caring for your mother, but for making a huge unilateral decision without your wife's agreement. Alzheimer's is a cruel disease, and this could last years. Your wife isn't wrong to feel the way she does, especially given the impact this is clearly having on her. You're the idiot. I sympathize with you, but I also work in elder care and understand fully how you're wrecking your wife's life. You should accept that she isn't willing to live this way, potentially for 5, 15 years. I'm too sad for all involved to pass judgment.